For this one, Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks at home, and coming off a very good win, Dick Vitale, against Michigan State, going up against the Billy Donovan team that has struggled in the early going.
Well, Billy Donovan's team struggling shooting the basketball, and they better make threes here. The edge goes on the interior, certainly to Kansas. Perry Ellis, John, has been playing fantastic in a post since the Kentucky game.
Well, both these teams defend exceptionally well. Billy Donovan saying his team has gotten open shots. They just haven't knocked them down. But Perry Ellis is a guy, certainly from Kansas, that bears watching in this one.
Tell you one thing, the place is electric, baby. This place is one of the great venues in college basketball.
The 60th year of Allen Fieldhouse. We are underway. Kansas basketball.
I look for them to pound the ball inside, John.
Mikhailuk off the mark. And a rebound underneath landed Lucas. And they get a foul.
Mikhailuk's a player people got to watch. Number 10, only 17 years of age from the Ukraine. I saw some of his potential, unbelievable down there in the Orlando Classic against Michigan State.
They get the foul on Casey Hill. His first. They find Mikhailuk again.
Florida not a very deep team.
Right now 7 scholarship players for Billy Donovan's team.
Good defense right here by Florida. He walked. He definitely walked. Good call.
So Landon Lucas moving the feet. Turnover. And Florida will have the basketball for the first time.
It will not be long before we see the diaper dandy, Mr. Alexander, on the floor. And he is going to be special.
Cliff Alexander, the freshman out of Chicago for Kansas. It's the Michigan transfer, John Horford. And now Michael Frazier, who was their top scorer. And they get a foul on Lucas, his first.
Horford's brother played at Florida, played on those great teams with Noah and Brewer. What a team that was, 2006. They were unbelievable.
John Horford transferred from Michigan. A guy didn't play a ton for John Beilein. He's playing major minutes in Florida.
He had a lot of injuries when he was down there in Michigan. Casey Hill's a penetrator. Vinny Smith can make shots.
Shot rejected by Lucas.
Lucas doesn't have big presence.
Ellis in transition, and they get the block. And the foul on Frazier. All right, Dan Shulman, thanks very much. Welcome into Allen Fieldhouse. John Shumby, Dick Vitale, and Holly Rowe. Kansas and Florida just getting started. And we are scoreless here in the early going.
Well, Kentucky gets a win. Some of the people say, they had a tough time. Hey, the bottom line is you win. You win, you do what you have to do, and they did it.
Selden to the rim and able to get it to go.
That's their strength. They can really attack the rim. You talk about Selden, Mason, they really drive. And they get to the free throw line. In fact, 28 times a game, John, is what they average.
Vinny Smith off the mark. Ellis rebounds.
Florida has to make the three. If they don't make the three, it could be a long, long night.
And inside they get a foul on Landon Lucas. That is his second.
Here comes the diaper dandy. He said it will not be long. Here comes Mr. Alexander.
So Lucas will sit. Cliff Alexander, the prize freshman, will check into the game. The freshman out of Chicago, rated the number 3 recruit in the land in the ESPN 100.
Now, Paul Biancardi and had people very high on him, and I can understand why. Very active on the inside.
Florida has struggled offensively in the early going this season. Right now, due to injury, limited to 7 scholarship players. Great move to the rim by the freshman Devin Robinson, and he is fouled.
Robinson gets fouled on a nice backboard cut. Good execution right there. Scoring the basketball has been really tough for Florida. The Gators have had a tough time putting points on the board. What a different ball club, though, from last year. They lost 4 key guys. Prather, you think about Uget, Patrick Young. And don't forget, Wilmington was their catalyst. They won 30 in a row last year before losing in the NCAA Final Four.
All guys playing professionally now. And so guys like Hill, like Finney Smith, who were asked to play kind of supplemental roles last year, are now being asked to be main guys.
They got to be stars now. Lost to Connecticut in the semifinal. Connecticut got beat by Yale today? Are you serious? They got beat by Yale? That wasn't in debating either. That was in basketball. They beat them in basketball. Unbelievable.
Good look inside. Alexander will go to the line, and he will shoot 2 as they get the foul on Horford. So John Horford takes the foul.
It's one of the strengths when I talked about earlier. Kansas getting to their free throw line. But on the other side, one of the strengths of Florida, they normally don't foul. So something's got to give.
It's a big key for Billy Donovan's team as they defend without fouling. And right now, Billy, though, pretty open about the fact that his team's just trying to find its way.
Yeah, really, as you said earlier, had some key injuries. I mean, Carter's not here with an ankle injury. Transferred from Rutgers to get the points on the board. Nice ball movement right there. Did a great job, diagonal pass.
Ends up in the hands of Horford, and the foul on Selden, his first, and Horford will go to the line. John Horford, fifth-year guy, transferred from Michigan.
What a job both coaches have done. Billy Donovan, certainly a Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect, who built that program, a football school, and has made him a basketball power. Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. You heard me talk to him before the game, and I said, Billy, it's going to happen soon. He really has numbers that warrants Hall of Fame consideration. I don't mean when he's 60, 65. He should be in there while he's in his 50s.
2 national titles. He's going to 4 straight Elite Eights. Ellis a 3. Alexander, offensive board, couldn't get it to go, and now Robinson.
Florida doing a great job keeping the ball away from the interior to the post players.
Frazier off the bounce.
He squares his body to shoot. He's like automatic. Getting it off the bounce a little different.
It's one of the things they wanted him to work on in the offseason. Mason feeding inside. Alexander kicks. Selden. Well, he's had a difficult time early, Selden, but a couple of knockdowns here tonight.
That's a big shot for him. He really was Brick City, USA, shooting the ball against Michigan State, I'll tell you that. He'd be the first to tell you. But that was good inside-outside action. Bring it to the interior, bring it back out to the perimeter.
Eddie Smith lost the handle, now it's Mason. Mason speeding at the rim, and he's fouled.
That's the strength when you look at Mason. Attack, attack, attack. You're going to watch the ball movement right here. Great job bringing the ball inside and bringing it back out. Kicking it out, wide open. Selden squares his body and knocks it down. And all the Jayhawk faithful, they love it. What a great environment. I got in a crowd with the kids before, John. I felt like I was 12 years old.
Yeah, this place is electric. They fill this spot about a half hour before tip, and it is jammed.
Well, 2 of the most passionate places in basketball, back-to-back. Certainly Rupp Arena down there where their fans eat, sleep, and drink basketball. And right here in Kansas, look at those banners. Unbelievable.
National champs 2008. Billy Donovan, by the way, the only other time that Billy Donovan was in this building.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
1989. And his team, his Kentucky team, he was an assistant. They lost 155 to 95.
Unbelievable. That's the most points ever scored against Kentucky and most ever scored by Kansas. That was in the first year of Rick Pitino, but things changed quickly.
Big time.
What a staff they had, too. On that bench was Ralph Willard, was Tubby Smith.
Nice look inside as they find Chris Walker with the layup.
They got to get Walker to start to become a little bit more effective in the box. I know very high scouts on his athleticism. We have 30 NBA scouts here, but he's going to be a little bit more active in terms of working on a post. and his post moves. He can block shots.
That one out of bounds and a timeout on the court. Kansas, the early lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic's $3.99 footlong with tots.
Welcome back to the SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Sonic. Florida taking on number 11 Kansas here at Allen Fieldhouse, and Kansas leading 8-5. The Big 12 leading the SEC Big 12 Challenge 4-2. And tonight's game, part of Jimmy B Week for Cancer Research here on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the B Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Hi folks, John Chambi and Dick Vitale with you. Great one here at Allen Fieldhouse tonight. Dick Vitale, you've gotten a chance to see Kansas in the early going. You saw them in Orlando. They should be the cream of the crop in the Big 12.
Well, you got to go through Lawrence. Everybody's talking Texas, here in Iowa State. But you got to go through Lawrence. 10 years in a row, they've either shared or won the conference championship. Bill Self, like Billy Donovan, no doubt in my mind, they both will be enshrined eventually in the Hall of Fame. But their team is going to get a little bit better perimeter shooting. Tonight, Selden made a shot from out there, and he can.
17 years old, Svi Mikhailuk, and he knocks down the triple, coming off a nice performance against Michigan State where he had 11.
He's going to be special eventually. Passed the ball really well, has a great size, handles it exceptionally well, and can shoot it.
Inside, there's Walker again. That's his second bucket. He's got 4.
That's a rarity because he very rarely scores, and they got to get him a little bit more involved offensively. I remember last year when he made his debut, everybody was going wild about his athleticism. See the great scouting report, how they rotated over when Ellis tried that spin move across the lane. He likes that spin move and come over his left shoulder.
Mason can't hit Frazier the ball.
Florida had some tough games early. Got beat by Florida, got beat in that game in North Carolina, put the hurt on them.
And a loss at home to Miami, also in the Bahamas, Georgetown, and UNC. And right there, it's Chiozza.
Chiozza gives them that big free, something lacking. They have not been able to make shots. Hey, you mentioned Miami. What about a tip of the hat to Jim Larinaga? They're like 8-0, unbelievable. It was a great win for his kids to go down there with the Rowdy Reptiles and beat the Gators.
Inside, it's Ellis and 1. He'll go to the line.
That's where they got to go. That's where they have the edge. Tonight, if they have an edge, it would be on the interior with Ellis and Alexander. Got to dump it down. He was MVP in the Orlando Classic. Very effective on the interior. He bounced back strong after a poor performance against Kentucky. It was almost humiliating. They shot 19% in that game.
Yeah, Bill Self said he felt like they panicked against Kentucky. And one thing he mentioned about Perry Ellis, he said, I hate to talk about scoring, but the bottom line about Perry Ellis, for us to win, he's got to get numbers.
Absolutely. He's got to put numbers on the board. Just like I look at Florida, for them to win, Frazier's got to put numbers on the board. Casey Hill's a penetrator, an excellent handler. He's got to work and develop a little better perimeter shot.
And again, without one of their guards, Eli Carter did not make the trip with that mid-foot sprain.
It's like mysterious to them. They can't figure out what the dilemma is.
Active hands by the Jayhawks, out of bounds. It stays with Florida.
Both schools celebrating new football coaches. The name one here today at Kansas, David Beatty. And then down at Florida, they laid some cash to get Mr. McElwain from over at Colorado State, former offensive coordinator for Nick Saban at Alabama.
Coach Beatty will be announced at halftime here at Allen Fieldhouse.
Oh, that place will rock, huh?
Benny Smith, the kick out.
Casey Hill's an excellent penetrator. He can get to the rim and dish the rock like he did right there.
Horford had a good look at it, tip out, and now it's Frazier. And Devin Robinson is fouled inside. He will go to the line.
I know one thing you can guarantee tonight. Billy Donovan will not leave this arena. Last time he was here, as you said, John, 150 was put on the board against him. That will not happen tonight. Take that to the bank.
Yeah, one thing you know is that the Gators will defend. Now they'll get some help after the fall semester. Duke transfer Alex Murphy will be eligible. Should be a solid player for them.
Yeah, he's kind of a role player, not a great shooter like his brother was. Good in many areas, though.
Again, they're thin right now. I mean, here tonight, as you said, 7 scholarship players, 3 walk-ups.
They're playing hard, though, right now. They're playing hard. They're moving the ball. They're giving help on defense. They're jamming up on a post.
Great work, Robinson, to take it away.
Great deal of help defense right there. Attacking the post presence of Kansas.
Jayhawks with 3 turnovers in the game.
Both clubs really get after it defensively. Man-to-man, Kansas. Always challenging. You don't get too many open shots. So they recovered quickly.
Robinson, that's a 2. Yeah, the freshman knocks it down. He's a big recruit for them, Devin Robinson.
He was really highly rated, Robinson, but that was the kick out by Hill, who does a terrific job penetrating.
Tied at 14 in Lawrence. Year, this great basketball facility.
They had a great event celebrating the 60-year. Roy Williams is back here. Ted Owens, the former coach, is in the house tonight signing his latest book. Is that good man-to-man defense?
Brandon Green gets it up ahead to Jamari Traylor. He goes baseline, can't finish.
He made 2 big free throws to beat Michigan State. Traylor did. Green's a guy that can put points on the board offensively and shoot the ball.
Horford a 3.
And getting open looks because of great penetration and the kick out. Not able to make them from the perimeter. They missed Ellis. Should have had the ball into Ellis right away. He was in post position. Timing is so important when you want that execution to the post.
Decent handling here. Not a pure point guard, but learning the position, says Bill Self. Horford pulls down the board. And Hill's step back will go.
I'll tell you one thing. He starts to learn to make that shot consistently. His game will go up, and up.
Green can't answer. Florida with its first lead of the game. Coming up, we'll talk speed and a little pronunciation game with Holly Rowe.
Well, there is a 17-year-old wonder on this KU team starting for the Kansas Jayhawks. He's only been here since September, all the way from the Ukraine. So we decided to go to these diehard Jayhawks fans to see just how do you say his name.
Do you know how to say number 10's name, Svi?
Not at all. I have no idea.
Absolutely not. I just cheer for him.
Sviatoslav Mikhailik. That's how I would say it.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Sviatoslav Mikhailuk, maybe?
Wow, that's pretty good. How do you know that?
It's repetition. Just got to keep doing it.
Well, I actually had Svi on my cell phone say it to me and record it, and I've been practicing in my hotel room. It's Sviatoslav Mikhailik. He said, don't say the K, so it's one of those names easier to say it if you don't look at how it's spelled.
It's like he's rolling the R, basically. I love the kid out there that said practice. He's been practicing it.
I'm going to call him Svi. That's what Bill Self said. Calls him Svi.
Works well for me. Mason looked the other way. A turnover. That's number 5.
Florida really aggressive defensively. That's just a no-no, though, by Kansas. Mason took his eyes. Remember, you young kids, people don't realize this. You catch the ball with your eyes as well as your hands. You got to follow that ball and step to the ball. Don't wait for the ball to get to you. Step to the ball.
Frazier, really good shooter for Florida. They haven't let him get in a catch-and-shoot spot.
No, they're doing a great job, John. That's a good call. They're really matching up on him.
As if on cue. Good feed inside.
Great look by Frazier right there, making the extra pass. You know, remember this Florida team lost 2 heartbreaking games. The game against certainly Miami was right at the buzzer, and the game with Georgetown. I mean, the game at Carolina dominated them right out of the gate.
And again, big expectations of the team that lost 4 starters.
Well, he's created such a program down there. They expect 30 wins every year. You'll see a little penetration, and there's the dish off and the layup. When you get penetration and you beat your guy and you can draw help, it's always going to create an open opportunity. The key is to recognize and find the guy that's open.
Get Green on the travel. That's 6 turnovers.
They don't look in sync right now. I'm going to credit a little bit at the Florida's defense, but also the Kansas team just does not look like they got the rhythm going. I thought they had a little more rhythm when I saw them out there in Orlando in that tournament, winning the Orlando Classic. I'm going to tell you, team, you better not forget about it. They're going to get better and better. I know there's a couple losses right now. Michigan State. Michigan State is better than what their record, and Clemens will get them to start to win.
They move the ball well. Finney-Smith gets it to goal.
That's excellent execution because he squared his body, had the open look, and they got to do a guy that can shoot it. Finney-Smith and Frazier are their 2 guys from the perimeter that can make shots.
Dorian Finney-Smith dealing with that injured hand. Didn't bother him that time. There's Selden couldn't finish. Had a great look at it, and Walker ripped down the board and then gave it off.
He did everything but score. Selden on that drive. Oh, they missed him in the post. See a guy, when you got a guy in your back, man, you got to dump the ball inside. Feeding the post, the art of feeding the post is a lost art.
Right for that loose ball. Traylor comes away with it, and now Mason. Kansas in a big-time drought. Ellis can't hit.
Tell you one thing, Florida's doing a fantastic job of keeping Ellis from posting up inside and spinning and going to the goal.
Now, folks, Tuesday, it's the Jimmy V Classic live from Madison Square Garden. You get 10th-ranked Villanova taking on number 24 Illinois, and then it's Indiana and Louisville, the Jimmy V Classic Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, all part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research. And we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, the CEO, Susan Braun, does a phenomenal job. George Bodenheimer, our former CEO, does a great job raising money. I'm so proud to be on a board of directors with such super people. When I think about John Saunders and Mike Krzyzewski and people out there like Steve Bornstein, who's the chairman of the board now, Bob Lloyd for years, Jimmy's teammate. Donate. Call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Make that call. You may save the life of someone you care about.
100% of all cash donations are awarded directly to cancer research. So important. Our former colleague, the late, great Jim Valvano. Florida and Kansas here from Allen Fieldhouse, part of Jimmy V Week. And the SEC Big 12 Challenge.
Florida doing a good job moving the basketball. Making that extra pass to get high percentage shots. The key in winning in any game is get high percentage shots.
Clock winding down, and from the corner, it's Frazier burying a three.
Again, where did it come from? The penetration of Casey Hill. His penetration created help, kicked it out to the open shooter, and that's what Frazier does well. Like you said really well, John, if he squares his body, he's going to make it.
There's Ellis, and they needed that. They're going scoreless their last 8 possessions.
That's where they got to go, to the interior. Get Ellis some touches around the basket. We got a good one going here, buddy.
Well, the Gators have found some rhythm in this game offensively. Hill has it stripped. And then Trailer. An errant pass. Might have had it knocked away.
Nice
Good feed. Oh, look at that. Jacob Kurtz.
Kurtz used to be a manager. Then he became a walk-on. And here he is contributing minutes. What a terrific backdoor cut. Nice little pass by Chioza. Chioza made an excellent pass.
Now Florida getting that penetration. Here's a look.
That's Casey Hill. Great penetration. Kicks it to his buddy, Mr. Frazier. And Mr. Frazier goes nothing but nylon. And then watch the backdoor cut right here. He's a manager, man. He was the manager. He was getting towels. He was helping people. There are a lot of great managers out there. And he worked hard every day. And he made himself to where he could contribute some important minutes.
Holly, you have more on Jacob Kurtz.
Jonathan noticed him sitting up in the stands for the first 6 weeks of practice several years ago, and he finally said to Larry Shyatt on his staff, "Hey, who's that kid up there? He hasn't missed a practice." They invited him to be a manager, and one day asked him to jump in. He played pretty well, and they said, "Hey, do you want to play?" Of course he does, but guys, he is still a walk-on, paying his own $18,000 tuition in graduate school.
Wow, Holly, $18,000, unbelievable. That's what you make it there. Holly's got the Kansas State game tomorrow. Football with Baylor. That's a big, big one.
Yeah, we get down to the close of the college football season. Good feed to the post. Florida on a 16-2 run and a takeaway.
Did a great job of doubling up. Ellis is going to have to recognize the double team and find open people. Holly does an excellent job. Sideline reporter, she does a terrific job.
Horford tries another three. And they get Kurtz over the back. The Florida Gators on the road and leading it by 10. (26-16) back here at a jam-packed Allen Fieldhouse. 6:53 to go. John Chumby and Dick Vitale. Holly Roll, what did you hear from the Bill Self huddle?
Well, trailing by 10, he is so frustrated. He said, "We are not playing focused at all. They are kicking our you-know-whats." He said, "We've got to win this next 4 minutes." Then he really pointed out that nobody is passing the ball. The ball is sticking too much. That's one of his favorite phrases. He said, "Svi is the only one that's moving the ball at all. Everybody else needs to get in the motion. Guys, let's win this next 4 minutes. It'll be good for us down the stretch."
I really agree with that. I do. I tell you the truth. I don't see ball movement and player movement, Holly. They're not really getting any kind of emotion.
Ellis gets the front end. He's got 6 points.
I go to a little pressure here, even though Casey Hill welcomes pressure with his ability to handle the rock. He's so effective in his ball handling skills.
Ellis gets them both. Big in-state recruit, Perry Ellis, just a junior still, and he'll grab a seat.
Florida doing a great job, though, keeping them limited on that free throw line. They love to get to that line over 28 times per game when you talk Kansas.
You contrast Holly's point and Bill Self's complaint. Florida's moved the ball really well.
Well, they beat him off the bounce as well. Kansas has not been able to stay in front of him.
Oh, there's Horford flying in and an offensive rebound.
Nobody blocked him out. Had an open lane to the basket. They are absolutely out hustling Kansas right now. No doubt in my mind, they are out hustling them.
This Devontae Graham, the freshman into the game.
I mean, Bill Self's record here is incredible. 177-9.
Lost 9 times.
9 times, 177. And that's just not non-conference. That's league play. Gators have a little more bounce to their game than the Jayhawks do.
And it's getting bouncier.
You get confidence. You get confidence.
Frazier loses it. Up ahead now Graham. And they get a foul. Well, Sunday the selection committee's final rankings will be revealed. Find out who's in the college football playoff show. It's presented by AT&T. Sunday 12:30 Eastern ESPN and watch ESPN. Who you got, Dickie V?
Well, I think certainly Alabama's going to be there. I think Oregon's going to be there. I know they got that big battle going on with Rich Rodriguez and right now Arizona, but I think Alabama's going to be there. Oregon's going to be there. I don't know. I think that when I look at Baylor, could be a little trouble there. And Florida State, watch out for the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. They are really a good football team. Really good football team. Florida State's been finding a way to win, but it has been nail-biter after nail-biter.
And Holly Rowe will have the Baylor game tomorrow. How about Walker again?
His stock, I'm shocked. I turned to you and looked at you because you look at his numbers. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's his third basket, is it not?
It is. Averages 5. He's already got 6. Selden will try. And a rebound pulled down by Finney Smith. He was their leading rebounder last year.
Had that hand problem, broken hand. Was a real problem for him.
Hill a 3. And Alexander tracks it down.
That's not his strength. Don't let him shoot that 3.
Oh, what balance by Chioza.
Little Barishnikov right there. A little Barishnikov.
Kansas has turned it over 9 times.
What a terrific play so far by Florida in every category. Defensively, offensively, they've been executing. Take a look right here. See how they double him up? Now watch this. They give help. He's got to get the ball back out. There's a deflection. Now watch this. The ball goes inside. There's the wide open jumper there. You got to make that. But as soon as his back's to the basket, they're going to double him up down here. Look at this. Double up. Turnover. They're suffocating him on the inside. He's having a tough time getting shots.
They've done a really good job denying Perry Ellis and then defending him when he's gotten the ball. And that's Walker again, I believe. He's got 8.
They're on the offensive glass. Walker really right now playing at a high level. Chad Ford had him in his first round in his latest draft projections. Chad worked so hard. And that was all on potential because he has not done it yet.
Great block, Robinson.
This might be his best half of basketball since he's been in Florida.
Walker again. And Kurt's able to pick it up.
You love seeing kids like Kurtz. What a story that is. You go from a managerial role, guy sitting in the stands, manager. Oh, the Gators are playing a half that he'd like to put this baby away and get on a plane and head to Gainesville at halftime.
Devin Robinson with a 3, and Florida with 11 second chance points to none for Kansas.
And that means you're out hustling your opponent. When you're getting second chance opportunities, you are scrapping.
Selden answers with a bucket.
Selden with a nice drive across the lane.
Billy Donovan calls timeout.
Can you believe 15, Florida? I don't think anybody could have believed it. I know when we came here, people were telling me, oh, you better have your filler material. Could be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think, more than anything, the idea of Florida scoring 35 points is the first place that you start. That's surprising, right?
Absolutely. They've had such a difficult time scoring all year. But again, I think it's very misleading when you look at their 3-3. Georgetown was an overtime game by 1 point. Miami beat them at the end of the game making shots. And they lost to North Carolina, who's a good basketball team. Even though they lost to Iowa at home, they're a good basketball team.
Florida has come to play here tonight, leading it 35-20.
There's a lot of basketball yet to be played. Mr. Donovan knows that.
You have a decent idea that it's going to be an intense Bill Self in the locker room at the half.
No question. You know what's great about both coaches? We know they're winners. We know they are terrific on the sideline. They communicate well. They teach well. But what separates them from a lot of people, they're great people. They're humanitarians. They care about people. Don't believe Donovan give me a kiss in the locker room. I said, Billy, come on now. I couldn't believe it. He's a great guy.
Defending Hill, feed to Horford, who banks it in.
And again, how did it happen, John? Simple. Penetration, penetration, penetration. They're beating them off the bounce. Kansas not able to stay in front of the Florida guards with their penetration. And it creates easy layups. You drive, you draw, you dish the rock. The 3 Ds. Said that 36 years ago.
Ellis trying to power his way in. Offensive rebound. Feed inside. Oubre, that'll go.
Oubre, they expect this kid to be special. They're waiting. They're waiting for a breakout game out of him. They say in practice they see his skills. He's a teaser, man. You see those skills, and you wait for them to happen in the game.
Big-time recruit. Number 11 in the country, Kelly Oubre Jr.
He's still, even though he's in limited time, he's in Chad Ford's first-round projection.
Amazing.
Potential.
90 seconds to go here in the first half. And with the clock winding down, Horford tips it out, and new life for Florida. That's been the story. Hill speeds in.
Great ball movement. Bring the ball back out, manage the clock. You don't want to allow them to creep into the game. You want to go in with that commanding lead. Got to give them some confidence when we come out here in the second half.
Finney Smith, and that'll go.
Again, beat him off the bounce, gets inside for a nice little 6-foot shot.
7 for Dorian Finney-Smith.
They've had good balance, Florida, tonight. Good balance scoring, and not giving them any second shots or third shots. You can guarantee that. They're rebounding well. This is probably the best half of basketball that the Gators have played all year. Casey Hill's done a terrific job here handling the ball, running the offense. He's been the orchestra leader. He's the maestro man.
He has gotten into the paint all night for the first 20 minutes. Finney-Smith off of his leg, out of bounds. Timeout on the court, and we take it with him.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
Welcome back to the SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Sonic. And at the break, it is 39-24 Florida, leading number 11 Kansas. It's all part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Hi, folks. John Chomby alongside Dick Vitale. First half, Florida shooting lights out and able to get inside. That was the story.
They put a clinic on. Penetration. I mean, Casey Hill has 6 assists, 1 turnover. Just penetrated at will. He was a star of stars. There he is right there. Penetrating, dropping it off for layups. Walker goes 4 for 5 in 7 minutes. They shoot the ball well, 53%. They out-rebound Kansas 18-11. They beat them on the offensive glass. They beat them in the lane. What a great job of penetrating. Did a terrific job. Their overall performance was absolutely sensational. If I had a chart and rate them, you give them an A+. The key now for Kansas, the first 5 minutes. They got to go on a spurt, wake up this crowd, get them alive, get them going. You know, the crowd will be live if you go out there and play and perform. This is a great bunch of fans.
Gators basketball to start it in the second half.
On the other side, if you're Florida, you got to make sure you're not going to become tentative and play passive. Got to keep playing aggressive basketball.
Shot clock under 10. And now it's Horford, step back, and gets it to go. Wow.
Kansas did a phenomenal job defending in a whole sequence. They get a step back jump shot from Horford, who's not a long-range shooter.
That was a 2 from John Horford. Let's see if Kansas can find some rhythm offensively. They feed to Lucas there, but they got to find Ellis.
They found him right there and kicked it out. Look at the aggressiveness on the glass by the Gators. I'm telling you, people down in Florida right now getting a little excited. Up 17 on the road at Allen Fieldhouse. Are you serious? That's a charge.
Offensive foul. Holly Rowe, what was Bill Self's message?
Frustrated with how they played in the first half, obviously, but what they did is they went small. We saw Landon Lucas with those 2 early fouls. He only played 2 minutes in the first half. Cliff Alexander just 8 minutes because he thought they were too slow to guard the ball screens of this speedy Florida team. He said, we're going to get back to playing who we are here in the second half. That is an unselfish, tough basketball team.
I agree. You got to let them play. Try to stop your strength. Your strength's your interior. You got to go into it.
Selden at the rim. Kicked out. There was nobody there, but Mason tracks it down. And they need more of that from Wayne Selden.
They'll need some perimeter threes. This crowd's dying to get going. They want a momentum. They want Uncle Mo to start to arrive. They can't win. I can see them. You look at their eyes and say, please, just give us a few deuces. We'll give you that adrenaline lift.
Eddie Smith can't hit.
Well, right now they have the angle for the lob. Ellis, they missed it. Good reversal of the basketball. Good things if you make that extra pass. Make the defense have to swing from side to side. And defensively, you should stop that reversal.
Selden again.
Oh, what a nice play right there. Oh, Ellis had himself a steal. That is not Selden's strength. I know he made one earlier, and I think Florida will take a chance with him shooting the perimeter jump shot. Listen to this crowd. Oh, you gotta love these people. Jayhawk land. Team is down, and they're trying to give them a lift. That's genuine, real fans. A lot of places you go, they sit on their hands, except if the team is winning. I see a smile on your face, John. I think you agree with me. Come on, Boo, you agree with me.
Yeah, this is one of the best venues. I get the pleasure of doing a lot of Big 12 basketball. This is one of the best joints there is.
Our buddies in the house, Fran Frischello, who sits here for a lot of games, does a great job with us. It is really, you know, it's like I told you at halftime. It's like Wrigley Field. It's like Fenway Park. It's one of those unique places.
You made the point, too. I think it's what defines a good crowd. They don't wait for the team to take the lead. They're urging their team on.
That's what we're trying to help. That's been the problem all day. Can't stay in front of them, beating them off the bounce. I know it's repetition that we say it, but I'm telling you, that is the story of the game. You got to stay in front of your guy. He gets by you, it creates all kinds of problems.
And a takeaway for Horford. Now it's Hill. And Robinson flips it up and in.
I'll tell you one thing, this Gator team is playing well. A lot better than my reports when I was going out talking to people about them. I wasn't getting these kind of reports when I'm watching here today. They're playing hard. They're playing together. Right there, nobody blocked out.
Lucas with the follow.
Kansas has to make something happen with their defense. And it can't happen, John, if you don't stay in front of people. I'll tell you one thing, Hill's tough to stay in front of, though. Bad shot right there.
And they get a foul to floor on the Gators. Florida up by 16. A foul on Dorian Finney-Smith is first.
They've done a good job staying in front of Mason, who likes to drive and slash to the goal. He's a driving player.
Kelly Oubre onto the floor. Himself trying whatever.
Trying to find a combination that can answer this Gator combination. Good job of playing the ball screen right there by the Gators.
Mason short, but gets his own miss. Launches. Wow.
Got a lucky bounce right there, but you need that to get back in the game. You need those kind of bounces. 17 was the high, was it not, John?
It was.
Shooting the ball too quickly right there. Shooting the ball a little too quickly right there. Billy didn't like that possession.
Well, the fans trying to get going. They were going with Dickie V pregame. 13 points.
Who's that wacko? Who's that wacko? 75 years old. You kidding me?
Jim Valvano and his vision that he had with the V Foundation. There's so many things that have been done as far as improvements and advancements. I want to be a part of anything that we can do to win this fight.
John Shelby, Dick Vitale here courtside. Here is your latest book, and every penny for the proceeds from this book goes to pediatric cancer research via the Jimmy V Foundation, the V Foundation, and here are the 10 kids that you've dedicated this book to. Pretty special. Yeah,
well, they're 10 beautiful youngsters who lost their lives. We will never, ever let them be forgotten. Unbelievable when I think of their names. Lacey Holsworth and Eddie Livingston and Peyton Wright and Johnny Tice and Dylan Simmons. Unbelievable. Anybody wants a copy of my book, get an autographed copy at dickvitaleonline.com. It's available in all the bookstores as well. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, let's promote the gala.
All right, whatever you want to do.
Here during Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research. To donate to the V Foundation, jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V. 100% of all direct cash donations awarded to cancer research. You have a gala as well that you want to tell people about.
Yeah, we have our Dick Vitale Gala where we raise a lot of money. Last year we raised over $2 million, and we hope to do it again this year. And ours is all for kids battling cancer. I want to raise that $2 million for the youngsters who are dedicated to my book, who lost their lives, and we dedicate the book to. So again, if you you want to buy my book, you get an autographed copy. Go to dickvitelonline.com. Every dollar that I would make, not 60 cents, every dollar will go to the V Foundation for Pediatric Cancer.
Chioza can't hit, and Kansas here at home, number 11 team in the land, trying to chip away at a 13-point Florida advantage. A little bit of a surprise.
I smell a run.
Road.
I smell a run. I can feel it. I can feel it. Been sitting here for 36 years, buddy, and I just feel a run coming. And Billy Donovan just keeps peeking at that clock and hopes it just keeps running and running and running. They're going to lock it up defensively, Kansas. They want to get really back. Here come the Jayhawks.
They want him taking that shot.
Here come the Jayhawks. Here come the Jayhawks.
Mason.
Here come the Jayhawks. I told you he's a driver and a slasher. Oh, Rock Chalk Jayhawk faithful are up now.
A 9-0 Kansas run.
That helps you to play defense as well. It brings a little spirit to your club defensively. A little more bounce.
Walker flips it up and in. What a game he has had. Walker with 10 now.
That's the best game in his career. I'll guarantee you that's the best offensive game in his career.
Luke is too strong with the jump hook. And it's Frazier the board.
That was a big basket by Walker. They needed a deuce badly. Quiet the crowd down a little bit. Look at him walk on, Perch, laying the screen. Ray with the rebound.
Ellis rejected.
Nice defensive play, good rotation by the Gators. Watch the drive right here. Nice drive to the goal. Unless he sees the gap, I'll tell you, they're guards. When he took Selden and Mason, they're attackers. And there's Mason with the attack on the reverse layup. As soon as they see a gap or seam, they attack it. Young kids out there watching the game, learn to attack. Learn to attack off that bounce. You spot an opening.
Both just sophomores kind of got lost in the shadows of Embiid and Wiggins a season ago. Oubre. Alexander lost the handle, out of bounds, Florida ball.
I'm really impressed the way Florida has defended on a post inside with Ellis and now Alexander. They've really done a terrific job because that edge in the matchup certainly would go to Kansas when you talk about interior play.
They're not very big, the Gators.
He got bumped, man. He got bumped. He got bumped, no doubt about it. J.C. Hill was bumped. He's been the MVP in his game. His penetration and creativity has been a difference maker. I mean, he gets bumped right there, riding him.
Foul on Frank Mason, his first. Ron Cooper was right there on the call.
It was a good call, very good call. I tell you, it's so great being in this environment. It is so special. It brings out the youth in me. Makes me act like 10. You don't want to get passive now if you're Florida. You want to play like you played in the first half, aggressive, but you just want to make sure that you take quality shots. This kid is magical with the ball in his hand, J.C. Hill. If I were him, I'd stay in the gym all night and just work on shooting jump shots. Bad possession there, bad play.
Toss up ahead, Alexander.
Nice pass. Nice
and
pass.
Selden is fouled. He'll go to the line. A Saturday Big 12 matchup could determine who's in the college football playoff. You get Iowa State and number 3 TCU tomorrow noon Eastern ABC. Your top 4, Bama, Oregon, TCU, and Florida State. Holly, of course, will be at Kansas State and Baylor. And Holly, I know you're looking forward to that matchup.
Well, I can't wait. It's going to be for the Big 12 championship. A lot of people forgetting that K-State still has a chance to take home part of that trophy. And I spoke with Bryce Petty, the quarterback, of Baylor on the phone just today in between shoot-arounds here. He said he's feeling very well after a mild concussion last week. He's been symptom-free since early this week and practiced all week for the most part. He said he's ready to go.
I'll tell you what, I think Florida State, and also when you look at TCU, I really believe those teams could be in now, when I talk about jeopardy, I think Baylor could be in jeopardy against Kansas State. I think TCU is home free. And watch the Buckeyes of Ohio State. I know they got the third-string quarterback, but not many people talking about that.
A travel and a turnover. It'll be Florida basketball when we come back. Gators by 10.
See the intensity on Bill Self's face? Wow.
Nanberg.
That man doing a great job in there. Hey, one of the great Jimmy V games that I'll always remember. Somebody asked me what's the best classic. And, you know, we got the Jimmy V Classic Tuesday. Kentucky and Duke at the Meadowlands. And there was a guy there by the name of Jason Williams. And he went ballistic. I remember that game, Mike Krzyzewski substituted 5 players. He was upset with their effort. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Williams took over. And he had me going wild, man. Called him the 3S man. Every name and every adjective to describe his performance.
I was at that game as a fan.
You were?
As a fan.
Oh, wow.
Bought a ticket and went as a fan.
Did I say it the way you wanted me, Jason? I know you're listening. Oh, wide open. Look at the breakdown defensively. No communication. You got to communicate defensively. Know who's guarding who.
Oubre couldn't finish. Look at Alexander.
He's so active inside. Just a matter of time before he becomes a star. He's got a good motor. Very alive, very active. Big-time high school player out of Chicago. Look at this here. Wide open. Look at the ball coverage. They go to the ball. Nobody's here. Unbelievable. I mean, I can make that layup. Are you kidding me? I'm 75 years old. I guarantee I can score there, John. Don't laugh at me. I can score a move there.
How's your free throw game?
Pretty good, man. I got about 15-foot range. I can't go any further. Age becomes a detriment.
I've seen the free throw shooting. I know you can knock them down.
They're doing a better job staying in front of Hill. Let's see right here. He did a good job, stayed right in front of him, didn't make him make the turn. You can see Mason was challenged at halftime because in the first half, 6 assists, 1 turnover. It was all Casey Hill.
9 turnovers on the Gators. A 10-point game, 10:40 to go. Florida led by 15 at the half.
Will this be upset city? Will it put Bill Self in double digits and L's in this arena? He's 177-9. Unbelievable at home.
Well, think about it. He has more consecutive regular season Big 12 titles than losses in this building.
Incredible. 10 in a row that he's either shared or won the title.
I mean, that's absurd.
That's consistency. That's Hall of Fame numbers.
Last foul on Dorian Finney-Smith is second. Graham feeds Alexander, flips it up and in.
Looks so smooth, so graceful, so mobile, so agile. And he's not fragile. He can be hostile. Down to 8. Down to 8. Gator fans get a little nervous right now. Oh, what a nice kick out. That has been a shooter and he does not deliver.
Frazier had a great look at it. And they get the foul, I believe, on Selden. Indeed.
That's certainly his strength. Squaring his body, getting that open look like he did.
It'll be Selden's third as he shoved Robinson.
A little frustration now building. It's not too often they lose in this building. Oh, what a bad pass. What a bad pass.
Oh, an offensive foul.
That was a good call. He was positioned. He was totally out of control. veteran player. You got to be under control here. You got numbers. You got your teammate on the right. He sees him a little too late, flying in the air. He'd like to have that back. He's a very good player in terms of attacking. At that time, got himself caught up in the air. No man's land.
Big spot there. So the offensive foul on Mason, and Florida ball up 8.
And the Gators hang on the road, underdog. We're up 17 at one time.
Alexander rebounds the Robinson miss.
That was a good penetration by Robinson. I would get the ball inside Alexander. You're going to throw the ball and slide inside. He's going to slide inside. I'd get the ball to Alexander. Come to the ball. Dump it into him. Dump it into him. That's it. Bring it to him.
Selden inside. Selden gets it to go.
And that's what he does well. Selden and Mason are attacking. They are driving. Oh, they smell their Kansas Jayhawks coming back. Rock Chalk Jayhawk crowd is alive. Oh, he got fouled. He got fouled.
Let's go to Ollie Rowe.
Well, Billy Donovan is very frustrated with his team because they're not playing with that same reckless abandon they had in the first half. In his last huddle, he was like, guys, you're thinking too much. You're standing too much. Go for it. You get an offensive rebound, go. He wants to see that speed and that carefree attitude out hustling the Jayhawks that they had in the first half.
Dick, the one thing, though, this team is very different offensively when Casey Hill is on the court and when he is not on the court.
Great point. No question. He's a different guy on the floor. He creates opportunities. Wide open.
Huge. Robinson. Chiozza, good look.
You know, Robinson's giving him some positive minutes here. Chiozza with the good look, but he was wide open.
Alexander couldn't finish, but he's fouled.
Got to convert at the free throw line and get some pressure defensively. You know, also, I know Billy a little frustrated with the way they're playing, as Holly has reported. But you know, got to give some credit to that, to Kansas, the way they elevated themselves defensively. I mean, you're down like they were. They were down 17. I see nothing but stardom ahead for this kid. He has things you cannot teach. His athleticism, his strength, his size. Patience. A lot of people are too impatient. They want it to happen overnight. Not everybody can be an Okafor. Let's see right here. The Gators attack. Oh, that's a push-off. That's an offensive push-off. Another great call.
They get it on Robinson. And that is number 3 on the freshman out of Virginia, Devin Robinson.
Is there enough time for the Gators to hang on? Because this Kansas team is not going to go away. They're going to keep coming and coming and coming. And the clock now. Got 8 minutes on that clock. Billy Donovan says, can't they run that clock? Get that sucker moving.
Florida with 3 turnovers in the last 14 seconds.
Out of course trouble.
Selden will try and hit. That's a 2, by the way.
We got ourselves a finish, my friend. We got ourselves a finish. They cannot win without Casey Hill on the floor. He's trying to rest players. Only got 7 players.
Florida tonight with 7 scholarship players.
They have really picked it up defensively. Sliding together, communicating.
Look at Mason and Walker down low. And it'll go the other way.
Their defense has really been elevated. Oh, this place is rocking. They were down 17. They're only down 5, baby.
College basketball is brought to you by Sonic's $3.99 foot long with tots.
Now one of the most special places in all of college basketball. Look at the Hall of Fame here at Allen Fieldhouse. The great Will Chamberlain. They just came out with Will Chamberlain stamps.
I know that.
Featuring Wilt Distilled as we take a look at the latest dish on Allen Fieldhouse. And it is brought to you by Dish Network. 60 years here at Allen. All-time Kansas record, .868 the winning percentage. Under Bill Self, he's lost just 9 times. They've had 17 undefeated seasons and 215 straight sellouts.
One of the elite programs in all of college basketball. And John, you know, you played a game and you're down like they were at halftime in segments. First 4 minutes, Kansas was up 8-6. The next 4 minutes, 5-2. The third 4 minutes, yes, 10-5. Interesting to see what goes on here now. They have each 4-minute segment they won. And that is the key in trying to get back. They don't try to get back all at once.
Trying to win these little battles. It's been interesting to watch the combos. Devontae Graham has played some significant minutes, the freshman for Kansas. Selden now, he's got 17. Make it 19.
Feels pretty good right there. Looked nice on that jump shot. Casey Hill back on the floor. Tried to rest him a little bit. Get him ready for the stretch drive. They're a different team when he's got the rock in his hands.
And they get Walker over the back. It'll go the other way.
You could almost feel there was going to be a run by Kansas. There was no way they were going to allow this team to put them away. That first half was a brilliant performance by the Gators. Alexander on the line. He can bring this baby to 1.
Walker picks up his second. Holly Rowe, what do you have?
Well, Wayne Selden had really been struggling for the Jayhawks coming into this game, shooting just 26% from the field. At shoot-around today, I asked him about that shooting slump he's been in, and he said, you know what, I'm not worried about it because the next one is going to go in. With 19 points tonight, that confidence he had in himself is starting to pay off. He said he's worried about the other things, rebounding, defending, and tonight, taking his mind off of his offense, it's come more easily.
Well, it's been ugly in the early going. Coming into tonight, 26.5% from the floor, 26.3 from the line. But Bill Self pointed out, look, last year when he really blossomed, it was during conference play. He struggled early on last season, and Selden then took off. Here tonight, he has taken off 8 out of 12 from the floor, and right here, Kansas within 1.
Okay, one thing, credit this crowd, too. You talk about a 6-man. They were with this club when they were down big, and they're certainly with them now. And Alexander's been a big plus since being on the floor. Oh, look at that rebound, Alexander. They can take the lead, my friend. They were down 15 at half.
Ellis ball fake, flips it up, and he'll shoot 2.
They go to that free throw line because they're a bunch of aggressive offensive players.
Foul on Dorian Finney-Smith, his third. Barry Ellis at the line, 74% free throw shooter.
And I guarantee you know Billy Donovan, he don't want no moral victories, man. And we played him great for a half. I don't want to hear that nonsense. It's about 40 minutes. It's about winning.
And Billy Donovan's honest. He said he's not sure what he has with his team. Not sure how good they can be offensively. Not sure how good they can be.
I think one thing, they're going to win their share of games because other than Kentucky, when you look at the SEC, it is not super strong from top to bottom. I see a lot of potential wins, especially at home with the Rowdy Reptiles. We got a ball game, my friend. We got a ball game. 6 minutes on the clock. I think if you tell Billy Donovan when he was coming over here, I'll get you tied, 6 minutes to go, take it, he would take it.
I think you're right. Finney-Smith. Ellis, a huge rebound. Mason on the go.
He pushing that ball up the floor. Oh, he got hurt. He got hurt.
And Mason grabbing his ankle in a lot of pain.
Not going to project as Not a doctor sitting here, but it did not look good, John. Seems to lose his stride right there.
Well, he rolled it.
Oh, wow, what a
right there.
Tough competitor. You talk about a club coming out with some fire and guts, and that's coaching. You got to believe at halftime. I mean, they were talking about things that they're capable of doing. They weren't doing in that first half. They were not digging in defensively. Florida was absolutely running a clinic on them.
Well, I think that's the big thing in the second half. They've locked in defensively.
They've stayed in front of the Florida players, not allowing them to beat them off the bounce.
Mason back out there, and he'll inbound the ball. He's going to stay in the game. Mentioned the job Kansas has done defensively. Florida 3 for their last 15.
Wow, that's 1/5. That's 20%. I was a 6th grade teacher. Common denominator, 3 to 3 is 1, 3 to 15 is 5. Come on.
More math from Dickie V later in the program.
Call me Dr. V, man, mathematician.
And they take Mason out now.
I would look to get the ball to Alexander.
They had to take him out because they stopped the game. I beg your pardon.
I would like to get the ball in Alexander. No, he said forget about it. Selden said, no, I'm feeling it.
Last lead for Kansas was 14-12.
That's an area we keep talking about that he's got to improve on. You talk about Uncle Mo arriving. You better believe Mr. Mo is on the side of the Jayhawks. Get it into him. They missed Alexander on the box.
And Alexander gets fouled.
And Selden Jr. square his body, goes with the left hand, creates space, first move. And look at the excitement down there.
That last foul on John Horford, he's picked up 4 now. So the senior transfer one away from the limit. Meanwhile, the freshman Alexander at the line. Mason still messing with that right ankle. Alexander 7 for 7 from the stripe.
Yeah, 7-7. That's unbelievable. Freshman. That's pretty good when you see a big guy with that kind of stroke on a free throw line. I mean, he's a P2 player. I don't care. He's coming off the bench. He's a prime-time performer, and he's got talent galore. Just a matter of time. Oh, it's really trouble time now for the Gators. They need a basket bad. They're searching. They're struggling. There's no rhythm to their offense right now. Frazier's got to get free for a shot. Short-armed it. Short-armed it. It is all Kansas the last 5 minutes. There are the attackers. Another example of Graham with the quickness.
They just keep attacking and drawing fouls. And that last foul on Devin Robinson, that's his 4th. And remember, a Florida team that is thin right now. No Eli Carter because of that foot injury, did not make the trip. They have 7 scholarship players with him and 3 walk-ons.
After being up 17, you don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out. Kansas has outscored them by 21. By 21. 22. Free throw line has been big for the Jayhawks. We said it was an important factor in their game. They averaged 28 free throws a game. The guys that could convert on a free throw line, that's a big plus. When you can get teams in foul trouble and you can get those charity points. $16 for 20 on the line. 16 for 20 on the line. It's 80%. Florida has been ice cold. The basket's been like a teacup. First half, it was like the Atlantic Ocean.
Kansas done such a great job defensively here in the second half. Chioza couldn't hit. Ellis the board.
It's really been a tale of two halves, but you want to win the second half. That's the one you want. First half was all Gators. Second half, all Kansas.
Closing on 4 to go. Kansas by 6. Graham. And Robinson a big rebound.
They can't get Frazier free. He's the guy that's got to get free. Look at that Alexander work the glass.
9 rebounds for the freshman, Cliff Alexander.
Just big time. Everything about him. So athletic. Look at Bill Self. He wants to
strong.
He wants to run the ball up the floor. Strong and agile, John. Really so much agility.
Oh, how about that move?
That's that turnaround over the left shoulder. He does that so well. Teams are going to try to shade him and take that away when he spins. It's been all Kansas.
Biggest lead of the game for the Jayhawks, +8. Walker inside, and he'll go to the line. Break in the action, the Jayhawks making a huge push here at Allen Fieldhouse. Ten schools collide Saturday on the ESPN. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, third-ranked Arizona, will take on Kevin Pangos, number 9 Gonzaga. It's Saturday at 5:15. ESPN, part of Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, part of Jimmy B. Weed.
That'll be a terrific basketball game. The Zags have a game with them in Arizona, and then they stay in the Pac-12 because on the following Saturday, they play UCLA. And the reason I know that, I'm going to be out there for the Zags and UCLA. I'll tell you one thing, Arizona's got their hands full. That backcourt, when you look at Pangos and Bell, and I'll tell you who's playing great for them, Kyle Wiltshire, former Kentucky kid, is shooting lights out. Mark Few and Sean Miller, 2 premier coaches. That's a great matchup.
Might be Mark Few's best team. So I saw Arizona out in Maui, and Sean Miller's group, as per usual, they can really defend.
They can't make free throws, they can't make baskets. Florida is in a schneid right now, big time. I mean, what a first half they play. Going to go a little full court pressure now. Tough to pressure this club. They handle the ball well, they drive well.
7-point game, under 3 to go.
Good spacing, great spacing against the pressure.
Zeldin will try. That would have been a backbreaker.
Nothing like a 3 to give the Gators some of a lift. Degree of difficulty, that's a tough shot right there.
We got Mason and Graham out there, so 2 ball handlers. Some people thought Graham might come in and actually wrest the starting spot away.
Well, he had an injury. They like his potential. Very quick, good handler. Got quality minutes right here.
In and out for Mason, Florida the other way. Chioza, good feed. Walker is fouled, and Chris Walker goes to the line.
You know, when's the last time Florida scored a field goal? It seems like forever. I mean, they've been on a run, Kansas. They've been on a 13-zip run.
Last Florida field goal at 6:25.
Incredible.
And they're 3 for their last 19.
Billy Donovan, what a record. Second all-time in the SEC to Adolph Rupp. 49 years of age, a lot of coaching in front of him, and a lot of wins in front of him.
It's hard to believe he's been there. This is his 19th year.
I know. And he looks so young. He looks like he still can shoot it and play. You know, both coaches have their sons on the team. Billy's son on the team here, Bill Self's son. Danny Manning's son is on the team.
There they are.
spacing. I love the fact 15 to 17 feet apart makes it so difficult to double up on the ball.
Walker the rejection, but Graham going inside is fouled by Kurtz.
They really can attack. Graham, Selden, Mason, they are so good off the bounce. Look at this right here. Spots an opening, goes right to the goal, and earns a trip to the free throw line.
Well, here in the second half, Bill Self has had to go with a little different look. We have not seen very much of Mikhailuk. He's really been sitting and watching. Lucas is sat, and Graham, Mason, and Selden have been the guys have been attacking the basket that have really given them the lift, and then Alexander down low.
They got some depth, some good practice sessions. There's the competition for playing time. That makes the kids earn playing time. You know, Billy Donovan, 4 consecutive years went to the Elite Eight. That's incredible. Think about that. Plus, we're not even talking about his 2 national championships back-to-back. It was so great in that era that those kids, Noah and Horford, were not greedy, that they wanted to come back. We don't see that today. You know, everybody one and done, get out. I mean, I can't tolerate that because it takes away the sanity of the current student athlete. You know and I know, they come in, they're just really renting a player for a year and you're gone. And I would love to see the rule be where kids, if they want to go right out of high school, that's their dream, let them go. But once you step in school, 3 years, you must stay like they do in baseball.
6-point game here in Allen Fieldhouse. More hoops coming your way Tuesday. Got the Jimmy V Classic, and Dick, you'll be there live from Madison Square Garden. 10th ranked Villanova taking on number 24 Illinois, and then it's Indiana and Louisville Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. All part of Jimmy V Week for cancer research on ESPN. We continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'll be there with Dan Schumann and Jay Billis, and all of us will have a blast out there. Louisville, I can't wait to see Mr. Harrell. He is terrific. Rick Pitino's club. Again, a very good basketball team with Rozier and Jones in the backcourt. I also want to see James Blackman, former Kentucky player's son, plays for Tom Crean. And he and Yogi Ferrell give them a good backcourt, a little limited on their front court. Free throw line's been so big for Kansas. They've converted better than 80% of their free throws, and they've gotten journeys there. Terrific performance by Alexander, who's on the sideline now.
Well, that's one of the ways you cut into a big lead. You get points with the clock stopped. And 17 out of 22 from the stripe. That's been the story. Alexander with a double-double. He's got 12 and 10. A turnover there. It goes the other way, and Kansas ball up 7, 1:40 to go.
As good as Florida was in the first half, it's as bad as they are in the second half. They were so brilliant in that first half. It's going to be a limited year for Florida. They have up and down moments. They don't have anywhere near the personnel they've had in the past. You lose the likes of the players they lost. Then they had some injuries they didn't anticipate. Prather, Leggett, Wilbekin, Patrick Young, all gone. All playing all over the world, actually, basketball now.
And Billy Donovan said, look, we've got guys, you know, last year if Casey Hill wasn't playing well, he'd go and sit down and Wilbekin would come back in the game. And Dorian Finney-Smith was, he was the 6th man of the year in the SEC, but still was coming off the bench. And a guy like John Horford at the University of Michigan, you're talking about a guy that played 14 minutes a game last year, and now he's being asked to play 29 minutes a game.
Absolutely. It's all a different ball game.
Coming up next, by the way, we got SportsCenter following our game. But it's a lot. You're asking kids to do something that they're not used to doing.
Absolutely. And then they're also following such an incredible run, winning 30 games. I mean, they won 30 in a row last year. 30 in a row. They were a defensive, suffocating team. Joseph showed some positive moments here in this game.
Out of bounds, Patrick Adams, Ron Gruber looking at each other.
You and I talked about it at halftime. We looked at each other and we said, this baby's not over. We said, not over. Kansas will be right in the hunt. Just too talented.
Mark Whitehead and company, they're going to go over and look at the monitor to make sure that they get it right in terms of possession.
You know, some surprise teams out there. You think about Miami, certainly played better than I think people have thought. Watch Northern Iowa. I keep talking about them. I think the Panthers are going to be challenging. I can't wait. I'm going to go to Wichita State for the first time in I don't know how many years. I was there when they had Carr and Livingston, Xavier McDaniel. But I'm going to be up there on December 16th when they play Alabama. And Bill Self told me, he said, it's a great environment. You're going to love it. I'm going to do a book signing there at 3 o'clock at the Wichita State bookstore. So come out and join me.
That's a great trio they have in the backcourt. Of course, Fred Van Vliet, one of the top guards in the country.
Baker, they lost a tough game on the road in overtime. Knight's a heck of a guard for Utah, made a big shot. That's not a bad loss.
And that, by the way, is who Kansas will play this coming Saturday at the Sprint Center. I'll be there with Fran Fraschilla.
Oh, you're going to be up there?
Yep.
I'm jealous. That's going to be a great, great environment.
Utah and Kansas coming up. And they, after looking at the monitor, it'll be Florida basketball.
Look at the way they're playing Casey Hill. Boy, he got to challenge Mason because he's a different player defensively. They're not even close to shots. He got fouled. I mean, Mason has stayed in front of Hill here in the second half.
That'll do it for Devin Robinson. His fifth. He is done. Robinson fouling out with 13 points and 5 rebounds. Still got to say, a really nice effort from the freshman. Talked about that Gonzaga and Arizona game. Our promo tree, that's not the only quality matchup. Women's game, we got number 3 UConn, number 2 Notre Dame. Those are really the two premier programs in women's college basketball.
Absolutely. You talk about two coaches that know how to win. Gino Auriemma certainly putting numbers on that are scary. Buffalo McGraw keeps them rolling up there at Notre Dame. One of the great games of this year was the game with Stanford and Connecticut on the road where Connecticut had their winning streak come to an end. That was a great game.
Oh,
finally one falls down. Oh, it's been unbelievable trying to get a basket.
Florida going 7.5 minutes without a field goal.
Pretty tough to win. You're on the road in an environment like Kansas, and you don't score for the field for better than 7 minutes. He can shoot the rock, this guy. But he shot it for Rick Pitino, for Providence, the Friars.
So 8-point game, 101 to go. They're trying to get the clock correct. How about this one? Florida led by as many as 17, led by 15 at the break. And in the second half, all Kansas.
I mean, that means they've outscored them by 23 in the second half.
You were on your math game tonight, by the way.
I used to love teaching math with the kids.
41-18 since the break.
Current 20-win seasons. Ready for this? Longest streak, Kansas, 25. Team down in Durham, North Carolina has 18, Syracuse 17, and Gonzaga 17. I will tell you this, right now, looking at that sheet, they will all go up this year. It'll be 26, 19, 18, and 18.
Kansas will try and get to the NCAA tournament for the 26th straight year. That is the longest active streak. I will go out on the limb and say that they will continue that streak.
I think they will be dancing. They have 17 players now on opening day rosters, including Andrew Wiggins and Paul Pierce and Kirk Heinrich, the Morris twins, just to name a few.
If you missed it earlier tonight, Kentucky was able to get past Texas. And Texas will be one of the challengers in the Big 12 for Kansas. Iowa State should be very good as well.
Iowa State very good, beat up on Arkansas yesterday. Brent Musburger does a great job along with Fran Fraschilla in that game. St. John's, by the way, former head coach Norm Roberts on the staff here with Curtis Townsend, Terrence Howard. They got a really nice staff, Kansas. So does Billy with John Pelfrey.
And they get a foul on Selden for pushing off. That's going to be his fourth.
Player control foul called on 1.
Just a careless foul there.
That's silly. You're up like they are. No need for it. It's been a lot of fun, John. Enjoyed working with you. You did a great job, by the way. I want to tell you, I'm a baseball fanatic, and I hear you and Dan Schumann, and wow, you guys really so knowledgeable.
I know your Tampa Bay Rays just hired a new manager, Kevin Cash.
Yeah, tell me about him. I know nothing about him.
Well, he's a coach with our old colleague Terry Francona, the Cleveland Indians, and Terry Francona speaks very, very highly of him. So you're going to be watching a new skipper down there in Tampa Bay as they figure out a new way to win. Tonight, the Kansas Jayhawks figuring out a way to win in back of Wayne Selden, who has gotten aggressive going to the hoop.
He also made shots from the perimeter, but there he is attacking the rim. Really beating people off the basket. There he is making the jump shot. We have that combination. When you can shoot the jump shot and you can drive, you become a lethal weapon. So difficult to defend.
Native of Roxbury, Massachusetts.
We have some quality matchups now. Not having many of those cupcakes that we had earlier this year. They've done a great job on Frazier. Their leading scorer, he finally knocks one down there, but they needed him to put some points out earlier.
5-point game as Frazier hits that three, and Billy Donovan calls timeout. So we got 48.7 seconds left. Getting a little interesting right here as Florida hanging around.
Well, they hang around. The three-point shot will give you that kind of impotence. Unfortunately, they've not been able to make the shots. They went to 7 minutes without a field goal, and that's been their detriment. On the other side, you got to salute Kansas that they didn't roll over, because it was absolutely brilliant the way Florida executed in that first half, offensively and defensively. But they came out a different team defensively, Kansas, and that's why they're leading.
The other guy that you touched on in the open, Cliff Alexander. He is not starting. Bill Self mentioned he's somebody that picks up some fouls early going. He worries about that. But tonight we've seen that beast mode where he's come up with a double-double. He's a lot to deal with.
Oh, he's a special type of man. He's an impact player. I think we're guilty, all of us, that we want instant gratification from the first game a kid plays. When he comes in with a big-time reputation, you want him to be a star. Some kids, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little longer for them to develop.
Yeah, the expectations are always high on the top 5 kids, but not every guy that comes in is going to do it right away, and yet you still can end up being a really good college player.
Absolutely.
Sports Center comes your way at the conclusion of our game. 48.7 seconds to go.
Where would we be without Sports Center as a sports fan? It's unbelievable. Here it is right now. They're going to try to get a steal and a foul right away. Comes down right now. You make free throws, it's an easy win. If you don't, you make life a little interesting.
There's the old slip and slide foul there. A foul on Chiozza, his third.
I'll tell you one thing about Bill Self. We're talking about the Jimmy V week. We honored Bill Self. We've honored Billy Donovan at my gala. And I can tell you this. They wrote substantial checks. And I'm not talking 5,000 and 10,000. Generosity unbelievable. Especially I know Bill, when I talk about both these guys, I know how much they love young kids. And people call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V and make that donation. Make it on behalf of someone you love. I want to send out best wishes to a fellow I spoke to yesterday. I was asked by someone within, ESPN, Chris LaPlaca, one of our vice presidents, sent a note out that if there's any time I could take to talk to a Sandy Pronto. And I talked to Sandy. And Sandy's in a tough stage of his life right now. And Sandy, I want you to know, a lot of people love you, my friend. They care about you. They really do. And I know you're a big basketball fan. Just keep fighting and fighting and fighting.
Kansas here, they have been able
free throw line
to get it done at the free throw line. 24. Make it 25 of 30.
They averaged 28 trips. They got 30 today. Bring the ball out. Back it out. Clock is on your side. That's such a plus when you can go to the free throw line and convert. That's such a positive. It's like special situations we talk about in football. run back kicks. You do a great job in that area. Puts pressure on the other team. This puts pressure on teams. It puts you on the line. Clock stops. You make some points.
Rams 7 out of 8 from the stripe. It's been a big factor. This guy's an interesting story. He originally signed at Appalachian State. They tried to pull out of his commitment there when they switched conferences. Eventually they changed coaches. They let him out, reopened his recruiting, and they think he's going to be a big-time player.
Yeah, they love his upside. Like his quickness, his ball handling skills. Clock problem here again.
Mark Whitehead noticed immediately.
I'll tell you one thing. The kids of Florida played their hearts out. They really did. They're looking for that quality win. They've beaten William & Mary, Louisiana Monroe, UAB, lost to Miami, Georgetown, and North Carolina. First time in a long time, 3 and 4 at this time of the year.
Well, this is the first time that they haven't been in the top 25 of the AP poll since January of 2011. So it's been a while.
Spread the ball out. Great win for Kansas because they had to come back the way they did. Down 15, buddy, and they came back and got it done. Rock Chalk Jayhawks.
Bill Self's team in the second half outscores Florida 47-26. And the number 11 team in the land, they win it at home 71-65. Thanks for joining us here from Allen Fieldhouse. For Dick Vitale and Holly Rowe, I'm John Shambi saying good night from Lawrence. We'll have more from Allen Fieldhouse coming up. But for now, we will send it to Sports Center. Kansas wins it here in Lawrence. 71-65 the final.